Shalom. This is Brother Matthias coming at you with another sit down, brought to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All praises due. Rakal Akim to all the brethren who are out speaking, teaching, and learning this word in spirit and in truth into the Akwaf, listening and learning. Just a quick impromptu video today. There's a lot of deception going on in these last days, not just from the church house. We know the regulars, TD Snakes, Joel Holstein, Creflo, Creepshow, Dollar, your local pastor. But there's other deceivers that are out there, and some of them are on the corner. Some of them know the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, unfortunately, and this has to be hit on because they're the most dangerous. Just because they rock the garments, because they rock the menorah, the 7-headed candle or the 8-headed candle, okay? That doesn't mean that Yahweh Shai knows them, okay? And I'm going to take us through a few scriptures today to illustrate the point, and we'll wrap it up. Let's go to the book of Titus chapter 1, starting at verse 10. And he says, "For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision." Circumcision are Israelites that are still teaching that you have to keep the law of Moses to be saved. That's a lie. You don't have to keep the law of Moses anymore, because the law of Moses was basically accomplished by Yahweh Shai on our behalf. Now it's our job to listen to him, and we do what he tells us to do, okay? Verse 11, "Whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake." All right? Filthy lucre's sake is money. Some of these guys are getting money for this, okay? And you look at some of these groups that are teaching about, you can't eat this, you can't eat that. I'll give you an example. They're saying that it's wrong to eat shellfish or crab, lobster, shrimp. Can't eat pork ribs, and that's not true. All right, we'll cut off from verse 11 right here. We'll go to Leviticus chapter 11 to see where they got this from. All right. Leviticus chapter 11. And it says, "And every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth shall be an abomination, it shall not be eaten. Whatsoever goeth upon the belly, and whatsoever ever go upon all four, or whatsoever have more feet among all creeping things that creep upon the earth, them shall ye not eat. Ye shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creepeth, neither shall ye make yourselves unclean with them, that ye shall be defiled thereby." All right? "For I am the Lord your God, ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall ye defile yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. For I am the Lord that bringeth you up out of the land of Egypt to be your God. Ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy." All right, verse 47. "To make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beasts that may be eaten and the beasts that may not be eaten." So he was clear on that. All right, he was clear that at this time You're not supposed to eat unclean unclean animals and things that creep upon the earth, all right? So these guys have automatically thrown shrimp, crab, lobster, catfish, all this stuff in there, right? All the stuff they know we eat already, all right? So here is Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 15. And the Most High Yahweh overturned that. Right? I'll start at verse 14. Deuteronomy 12, verse 14. But in the place which the Lord shall choose in one of thy tribes, there shalt thou offer thy burnt offerings, and there thou shalt do all that I command thee. All right? Notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God which he hath given thee. The unclean and the clean may eat thereof, as of the roebuck and as of the hart. Only ye shall not eat the blood, ye shall pour it upon the earth as water. Verse 17. Thou mayest not eat within thy gates the tithe of thy corn, or of thy wine, or of thy oil, or of the firstlings of thy herds, or of thy flock, or any of the vows which thou vowest, nor thy freewill offerings, or heave offerings of thy hand. Now, he just said you can eat the unclean and the clean. Okay? As far as you may not eat within thy borders the tithe of corn, do we tithe corn now? No. We don't tithe anything because we don't have anything. We don't have any land to grow anything. So this law was done away with, man. Let's drop it down to verse 20. When the Lord thy God shall enlarge your border, as he hath promised thee, and thou shalt say, I will eat flesh, because thy soul longeth to eat flesh, thou mayest eat flesh, whatsoever. In the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen to put his name, there be too far from thee, then thou shalt kill of thy herd, and of thy flock which the Lord hath given thee, as I have commanded thee, and thou shalt eat in thy gates whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. Even as the roebuck, which is a baby deer, and the hart is eaten, so shalt thou eat them. The unclean and the clean shall eat of them alike. Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. All right? You can't eat your meat rare. That's all he's saying. Now let's drop it down to verse 32. What things soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it. So, pork is unclean, shrimp, crab, lobster is unclean, but it didn't mean it wasn't good to eat. It meant that it was ceremonially unclean at that time, all right? So I'm putting this out there because I was asked this question again, okay? Let's go to Mark chapter 7. Go to verse 19. Matter of fact, let me go start at verse 18. And Yahushua said unto them, Are ye so without understanding also? Do ye not perceive that whatsoever thing from without entereth into a man, it cannot defile him? Why? Because it was done away with. Verse 19. Because it entereth not into his heart, but into the belly, and goeth out into the drought, purging all meats. All right? Now, Yahushua said, Eat what you want, you're not defiled. Let's go to Acts chapter 10. Right? Going to go to start at verse 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, a devout man, and one that feared God with all his house, which gave much alms to the people and prayed to Yahweh always. He saw in a vision, evidently about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of Yahweh coming in to him and saying unto him, Cornelius. And when he looked down on him, he was afraid and said, What is it, Lord? And he said unto him, Thy prayers and thy alms are come up for a memorial before Yahweh. So Cornelius was obviously an Israelite in the Roman army, all right? And now send men to Joppa and call for one Simon, whose surname is Peter. He lodged with one Simon a tanner, whose house is by the seaside. He shall tell thee what thou oughtest do. So he told Cornelius to go see Peter. And when the angel which spake unto Cornelius was departed, he called 2 of his household servants and a devout soldier of them that waited on him continually. And when he had declared all these things unto him, he sent them to Joppa. On the morrow, as they went on the journey and drew nigh unto the city, Peter went up on the housetop to pray about the 6th hour. And he became very hungry and would have eaten. But while they made ready, he fell into a trance. So Peter wanted to eat. And saw heaven open and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet knit at the 4 corners and let down to the earth, wherein were all manner of 4-footed beasts on the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air. And there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. But Peter said, Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. And the voice spake unto him a second time and said, What God hath cleansed, call not thou common. This was done 3 times, and the vessel was received up again into heaven. Now while Peter doubted in himself what this vision meant, which he had seen should mean, behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made inquiry for Simon's house, and stood before the gate. So Peter woke up, and called and asked whether Simon, which was surnamed Peter, was lodged there. While Peter thought on the vision, the Spirit said unto him, Behold, 3 men seek thee. Arise therefore and get thee down and go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them. Then Peter went down to the men which were sent unto him from Cornelius, and behold, I am him whom you seek. What is the cause wherefore are you come? And they said, Cornelius the centurion, a just man, and one that feared God, and of good report among all the nations of the Jews, was warned of God by an holy angel, and sent for God by an holy angel to send for thee into his house, and to hear words of thee. Then called he them in, and lodged them. And on the morrow Peter went away with them, and certain brethren from Joppa accompanied him. And the morrow after they entered into Caesarea, and Cornelius waited for them, and had called together his kinsmen and their friends. And as Peter was coming in, Cornelius met him, and fell down at his feet, and worshipped him. But Peter took him up, saying, Stand up, I myself also am a man. And as he talked with him, he went in and found many that were come together. And he said unto them, Ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company, or to come unto one of another nation. But God has showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean. Now, this passage right here, these guys are saying that the dream didn't mean that you don't have to keep the dietary law, because in verse 28, he says, I should call no man common or unclean. Okay, Peter was hungry before he went to bed. Before he took a nap. The Most High said, Rise and eat. The dream was about eating. Now, the reason that it's talking about common or unclean, as far as Cornelius, he was a northern kingdom Israelite that had lost his way and reclaimed his nationality. So Cornelius would eat food that Peter and them wouldn't eat. So when Peter sat down with him in his house, he could feel free to commune with Cornelius and eat the same thing that Cornelius would eat. It was okay. Okay? But these guys on the corners, some of them will tell you that that's not true, you can't eat what you want. You can't eat shrimp, you can't eat crab, you can't eat lobster. Don't get caught up in that. All right? Let me get a precept. This is Romans chapter 14. Him that is weak in the faith receive ye, but not to doubtful disputation. For one believeth that he may eat all things, another who is weak eateth herbs. All right? Let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not, and let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth, for God hath received him. Who art thou to judge another man's servant? To his own master he stand or falleth. Yea, he shall be holden up, for God is able to make him stand. All right? Let's drop down to verse 14. I know and am persuaded by the Lord Yahushua that there is nothing unclean of itself. Why? Because he cleansed it way back in Deuteronomy. But to him that esteemeth anything to be unclean, to him it is unclean. So, if you think it's unclean to eat pork or shrimp or lobster, don't eat it. All right? But if any brother be grieved with thy meat, now walkest thou not charitably. Destroy not him with thy meat, for whom Yahushua died. So if somebody else got a problem with you eating it, don't eat it in front of them. Verse 16. Let not then your good be evil spoken of, for the kingdom of heaven is not meat and drink, but righteousness and peace and joy in the Holy Ghost. All right? So, verse 20. For meat destroy not the work of God. All things are indeed are pure, but it is evil for the man who eateth with offense. So, if you really think it's something wrong with eating shrimp or crab or lobster, don't eat it. I don't have that problem. All right? I mean, think about it. Do you think they say that, yeah, they're bottom feeders. They're bottom feeders on the bottom of the ocean. They scurry around and they eat the flesh of dead animals. Okay, we got that. All right? Let's say it's a big-ass whale. Yeah. He's dead. He's in the water. The shrimps, the crabs, they eat the scraps on the bottom. They eat the whale up, right? But what's the whale soaking in? Salt water, correct? And what does salt do? It penetrates, purifies, and preserves. So when these shrimp, lobsters, crabs are eating this whale, they're eating purified meat. All right? That's why the Most High filled the ocean with salt. It's a high concentration of salt to break the animals down where they're safe to eat. They have to eat too. The shrimps have to eat. The crabs have to eat. The lobsters have to eat. All right? So what do you think they're going to do? Jump up out the water and crawl up to some cornfield and eat fruits and vegetables and jump back in the water? No. They're going to eat what's there the way the Most High designed them. If he said it's clean to eat, it's clean to eat. All right? But if you still don't believe it, then don't eat it. But don't judge somebody else if they do. That's the book. That's the law of liberty. We're free to do that. All right? Now let's go back. It's Titus chapter 1, picking up in verse 11. It says, well, I'll start in verse 10 again. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, telling you can't eat this, can't eat that, can't do this, can't do that, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not. That's one of the things they teach, just one. All right? Next, they tell me about keeping all these days, you know. If you want to try to keep the feast days and all that, man, all right, fine. Okay? Yahushua put an end to all of that. And you niggas out there teaching this, you know, if you want to try to keep it, fine. Nobody's going to judge you on that. But don't sit here and say that it's part of salvation if somebody doesn't. This is what the Apostle Paul was teaching against, man. This is what Yahushua was telling them, and these niggas wouldn't listen, all right? Whose mouths must be stopped and subvert whole houses. They got people reading bottles, and they can get some damn seasoning, and they see shrimp on there, they won't buy it. It's ridiculous, okay? Verse 12. One of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said, the Cretians are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies. This witness is true. Wherefore, rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith. Okay? So this is a light rebuke to you guys out there teaching that shit, man. Quit telling people that. Quit putting burdens on people that you're not supposed to put. Stop telling women that they can't wear pants. You can't wear a damn dress in this society with everything. What are you going to tell a woman that's a police officer? That's her job. She's been a cop for 10 years. Quit her job now? She's not supposed to carry a gun, right? That's what the passage was talking about. Okay? Let me get that. This is Deuteronomy 22:5. It says, the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord. All right, let's deal with that. Is it saying a woman can't wear pants? It says the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth. If you want to, you can follow it with me. All right. Go to your Google search engine. Tap in uppercase H, capital H, 3627 and hit search. That's all you got to do. What you're going to find is the scripture in Deuteronomy 22:5, the very part that says, shall not wear that which pertaineth. The Hebrew word for that is Kelly. All right? What does Kelly mean? It means article, vessel, implement, utensil. All right? Implement of hunting or war. All right? A tool of labor. A yoke for oxen. Okay? This is what it's talking about. It's not talking about clothes. It's talking about things that pertain to manly duties. Okay? Farming. Weapons. Okay? Yeah, women aren't supposed to be carrying guns now, but in this society, we're in captivity. Our women are part of that now. So they're not going to be judged on that. Okay? But as far as clothes, it's not what it's talking about. Now, right after that, it says, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. Now, let's see what the word garment means. All right? Once again, put in your search engine, uppercase H, 8071. And you're going to get the word simla, which is Hebrew for garment. Wrapper, mantle, covering, garment, clothes, raiment, a cloth. That's what it means. So a man is not supposed to be wearing women's clothes. But women do wear clothes that are similar to men, including pants. So that means they can't wear t-shirts either, right? Okay? Let's go back to Titus. Titus chapter 1, verse 13. This witness is true. Wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith, not giving heed to Jewish fables. What are the Jewish fables? Can't eat shrimp, can't eat lobster, can't eat catfish, you can't eat this, can't eat pork ribs, can't eat bacon. All right? And commandments of men that turn from the truth. Verse 15. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. They profess that they know God, but in works they deny Him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. All right? Let's go to 2 Peter. 2 Peter chapter 2. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies. I just gave you a couple of them. They're going to throw these bondages on you to get you all worked up. All right? Ooh, you got to keep the high holy day. You know, you got to get a letter from your job. I'll give you a letter to give to your job where you can take it off. Come on, man. Even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. All right? These are the privately damnable heresies that they're bringing in. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. How's the way of truth evil spoken of? I'm telling you, you can eat some pork ribs, man. Oh, no, you can't, brother. No. No. Yes, you can, man. I just showed you. All right? This is why Yahweh got nailed to the cross. They do not want to let go of Moses' law. All right? Let's deal with the holidays real quick. This is Galatians chapter 4. I'm going to start at verse 1. Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all, but is under tutors and governors until the appointed time of the Father. Even so we, when we were children, were in bondage under the elements of the world, which was Moses' law. But when the fullness of time was come, God sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law, that's Yahweh Shai, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons, that's us, the Israelites. And because ye are sons, God has sent forth the Spirit of his Son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Father. That's what's happening now. Wherefore you are no more a servant, but a son. And if a son, then an heir of God through Yahweh Shai, because he died for us. Howbeit then, when you knew not God, ye did service unto them which by nature are no gods. That was the Levitical priesthood. You did service unto him, right? Verse 9. But now, after you have known God, or rather are known of God, how turn ye again to the weak and beggarly elements, whereunto ye desire again to be in bondage, going back under the law after Yahweh Shai has already died for us and freed us from the law. Now here we go, verse 10. Ye observe days and months and times and years. I am afraid of you, lest I have bestowed upon you labor in vain. Brethren, I beseech you, be as I am, for I am as ye are. Ye have not injured me at all. You know how through infirmity of the flesh I preached the gospel unto you at the first. All right? Verse 16. He said, am I therefore your enemy because I tell you the truth? Okay? They zealously affect you, but not well. Yea, they would exclude you that ye might affect them. So they telling you, you can't be with us if you don't do this, man. You better keep the Sabbath. You better keep this. You breaking the Sabbath. You guys working on the weekend. Man, get out of here with that shit, man. Get out of here with that. You misleading the people. Verse 21. Tell me, ye that desire to be under the law, do you not hear the law? For it is written that Abraham had two sons, the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman. All right? The bondmaid was Hagar. Free woman was Sarah. Verse 23. But he who was of the bondwoman was born of the flesh, but he of the free woman was by promise. All right? So Hagar had Ishmael. Sarah had Isaac, which things are an allegory, which is a comparison. For these are the two covenants, all right? Moses' law and then the law of liberty. The one from Mount Sinai was gendereth unto bondage, which is Hagar. They're comparing Hagar, Moses' concubine, to the law of Moses. For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answereth to Jerusalem, which now is and is in bondage with her children. That's the law of liberty under Yahweh Shai. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. For it is written, rejoice thou barren that bearest not, break forth and cry that thou travailest not, for the desolate have many more children than she which hath a husband. All right? These are the ones that are following the law. The ones that aren't following the law of liberty are fewer than the ones that are following the law of Moses. Now we, brethren, as Isaac was, are the children of the promise. But as then he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the spirit, even so it is now. Ishmael was persecuting Isaac the whole time. That's why they got put out. All right? Sarah put him out. Well, Sarah told Abraham to put Ishmael and his mama out, which she did. And the Most High co-signed that. Nevertheless, what saith the scripture? Cast out the bondwoman and her son, which is Hagar and Ishmael, for the son of the bondwoman shall not be heir with the son of the free woman. Same way the law of Moses will not be heir with the law of liberty. Verse 31. So then, brethren, we are not children of the bondwoman, we're not children of the law, but of the free, which is the law of liberty, which is Yahweh Shai. All right? All praises to Yahweh B'Shem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai B'Shem HaKadosh. Metathias out.